Yah bless. This is Asaya ben Yisrael, the iconoclast. I'm with Yah, our righteousness, the King, the Creator, the Almighty, the Redeemer and Savior of Israel. Besides him, there are no other strong ones. In this video, we are going to explore the book of Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 7. This is the chapter where Christians cherry pick a particular verse and use it to justify and validate their idol, their devil, the New Testament JC or Yeshua. But when they cherry pick that verse, they neglect to mention the verses that precede that verse, and they also neglect to mention the verses that follow that particular verse. But we're going to read all of it from verse 1 and put it in its proper context. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Book of Yeshaya, chapter 7, verse 1. And it came to pass in the days of Ahaz, the son of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of YHWH, that Rezin, the king of Syria, and Pekah, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, went up towards Jerusalem to war against it, but could not prevail against it. So here you have the tone being set. This is the historical context. It was in the days of Ahaz, who was the governor of YHWH, that an alliance was formed between Rezin, the king of Syria, and Pekah, the son of Remaliah, who was governor of Israel, which is the governor of the northern tribes, YHWH being the southern tribes. This was after the split that happened because of Solomon's idolatry and rebellion and disobedience towards Yah. So they went to war. Syria and the northern tribes went to war against Jerusalem, but they could not prevail against it. Verse 2, and it was told the house of David, saying, Syria is confederate with Ephraim. And his heart was moved, and the heart of his people, as the trees of the wood are moved with the wind. So word got back to the house of David that Syria had joined forces with Ephraim, which are, again, the northern tribes. They are called either Israel or Ephraim. And all the people's hearts trembled like the leaves in a forest when the wind blows. So everyone was shaken. Then said Yah unto Yeshaya, go forth now to meet Ahaz, thou and Shear-Jashub thy son, at the end of the conduit of the upper pool in the highway of the fuller's field. So the word of Yah came to Yeshaya, instructing him to go and meet Ahaz, the king of YHWH, with his son, Shear-Jashub. And they were supposed to meet at a particular location, which is at the end of the conduit of the upper pool in the highway of the fuller's field. Verse 4, and say unto him, take heed and be quiet, fear not, neither be faint-hearted for the two tails of these smoking firebrands, for the fierce anger of Rezin with Syria and of the son of Remaliah. So the word of Yah continues to say, tell Ahaz to pay attention, follow instruction, and be quiet. Don't be shaken. Do not be afraid. Don't fear. Don't be faint-hearted. Be brave. Don't be afraid of the anger of Rezin, the king of Syria, and Pekah, the son of Remaliah, governor of the northern tribes, or Ephraim. Verse 5, because Syria, Ephraim, and the son of Remaliah have taken evil counsel against thee, saying. So they've gotten together and a conspiracy is afoot between Ephraim and Syria. So what did they say? They said, let us go up against YHWH and vex it, and let us make a breach therein for us, and set a king in the midst of it, even the son of Tabiel. Right? So they want to go up against YHWH and overcome YHWH and create a breach, a separation, and set a king of their own choosing over the kingdom of YHWH. And this king would be the son of Tabiel. Verse 7, thus saith the Lord Yah, it shall not stand, neither shall it come to pass. So the strong one Almighty, the Creator, says that it will not happen. So we know for certain that it will not happen. Now the context is a war that's being fought. Yah goes on to say in verse 8, for the head of Syria is Damascus. That's the capital. And the head of Damascus is Reason. That's the king. And within 65 years, 65 years, shall Ephraim, the northern tribes, be broken, that it be not a people. They would be scattered into exile and captivity. Their kingdom would be no more. Within 65 years, 65 years. Now this is the word of Yah coming through Yeshua, Isaiah, being told to Ahaz, the governor of YHWH. Let's remember the context. Let's stay within the context. Verse 9, and the head of Ephraim is Samaria. So the capital of Ephraim, the northern tribes, is Samaria. And the head of Samaria is Remaliah's son. The governor of Ephraim, the northern tribes, is Pekah, Remaliah's son. If you will not believe, surely you shall not be established. So the word of Yah is telling Ahaz through Yeshua and his son that if you don't understand and believe this word directly from the king, Yah of hosts, you will not be established. Verse 10, moreover, Yah spake unto Ahaz again, saying, so in addition to what Yah had said prior, he also has things to add. This is in addition. Yah says unto Ahaz, ask thee a sign of Yah, thy strong one. Ask it in either the depth or in the height above. So if you don't believe, ask of me, Yah of hosts, the king, a sign. And I will give you a sign that will bolster, support, and reinforce the words that are coming through Yeshua, the prophet of Yah. So ask anything, whether in the depth, whether in the waters, deep in the ocean, or in the height, in heaven. Ask of me a sign, and I will perform it. Verse 12, but Ahaz says, I will not ask, neither will I tempt Yah. So Ahaz still is faint-hearted. Even though he was invited to ask of a sign of Yah, even though he was prompted to ask of a sign of Yah, any sign, he's still faint-hearted, and he says, I'm not going to ask a sign because I don't want to tempt Yah. Wrong answer. Verse 13. And he said, this is what Yeshua says now back to Ahaz in response, hear ye now, O house of David. Is it a small thing for you to weary men? But will you weary my strong one also? Yeshua is saying to Ahaz, why are you doing this? Yah just gave you permission to ask of a sign, but now you're going to weary the strong one with your obstinance, your stubbornness, your recalcitrance. Now here comes the verse that the Christians like to cherry pick and attribute to their idol. But remember the context. The context is that there is a war going on, and these two nations, the northern tribes of Israel, Ephraim, and Syria, have come up against the tribe or the kingdom of YHWH to vex it, to war against it. And Yah says it won't stand. Yah told Ahaz to ask for a sign. Ahaz declined to ask for a sign in fear of tempting Yah. So Yeshua says to Ahaz, therefore Yah himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Now, who's the sign for? Is the sign for the whole world? No, because Yeshua is not delivering a message to the whole world. He's delivering a message to Ahaz. There are no other parties besides Ahaz that are privy to this message from Yah through the mouth of Yeshua. Therefore, Yah himself, because Ahaz would not ask for a sign, he was wearying Yah. Therefore, therefore, Yah himself shall give Ahaz a sign. Ahaz, the governor of YHWH, and this is a sign: a virgin, a young woman, an Alma, shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. So this sign is for Ahaz. It's not for all of Israel. It's not for the whole world. It's not for anyone other than Ahaz. Now we're talking about the BCE, before the Common Era, that this took place. This sign was for Ahaz. It was for no one else other than Ahaz. This has nothing to do with a New Testament Messiah or Christ. Absolutely nothing to do with a New Testament Messiah or Christ, because the word used for virgin in the Hebrew is Alma. Alma does not mean a woman that has not known a man. That is not what it means. Alma means a woman of marriageable age. And let me demonstrate that. In the Strong's H5959, it says Alma, a feminine noun. And what is the definition? It says virgin young woman, A, of marriageable age, maid or newly married. It does not mean a woman that has not known a man. The word for virgin, a woman that has not known a man, is Bethula. Bethula, Strong's H1330. Bethula is a feminine noun, and it means virgin. That's the word that would have been used if verse 14 was describing a woman that had not known a man and that was a virgin. However, that's not the word that was used. The word that was used is Alma. It does not mean a woman that has not been penetrated by a man. So we've taken care of the verses that precede verse 14 and put them in their proper context. And we've shown that this has absolutely nothing to do with a New Testament Christ. This has to do with a sign for Ahaz. Let's continue on with the verses that follow verse 14. It says, butter and honey shall he eat, that he may know to refuse the evil and choose the good. Right? When did you ever see this idol devil of the New Testament eating butter and honey? Where is that written in the New Testament that that devil ate butter and honey? Nowhere. And it says that he may know to refuse the evil and choose the good. I thought he was supposed to be man-God, God-man, God in the flesh. Why wouldn't he know to refuse evil and choose good? He's supposed to be sinless, right? See how it's not adding up when you put it in its proper context? It doesn't add up at all. Verse 16, for before the child shall know to refuse the evil and choose the good, the land that thou abhorrest shall be forsaken of both her kings. So before the child reaches a certain age of development, Again, this is a message to Ahaz. The land that Ahaz finds despicable would be forsaken of both her kings. So Syria and Rezin and Pekah and Ephraim, the northern tribes, would be broken, and they wouldn't have those kings as rulers anymore. Verse 17, Yah shall bring upon thee and upon thy people and upon thy father's house days that have not come from the day that Ephraim departed from YHWH, even the king of Assyria. So Yah is saying that Yah is going to bring days that haven't happened since the breaking up of the kingdom after the time of Solomon. Now we'll end it there. As you can clearly see, this chapter has nothing to do with a prophecy of a future Messiah that was going to be born of a virgin that has never lain with a man. Absolutely nothing to do with that when put into its proper context. However, the theologians, the liars and deceivers, the thieves, the wolves that shepherd the sheep, have twisted and distorted this passage, this scripture, in one particular place, verse 14, to use it as a tool to trap the mind. They have used it in a way which is abominable. They have used it to shepherd the sheep into idolatry and into ground that is not fertile. They have broken the understanding and the will, the knowledge, the faith of the flock with their distortions, contortion. I pray that you're able to see and to properly contextualize this passage, and you are illuminated to know that this has nothing to do with a New Testament Christ. This has been Asaya ben Yisrael, the iconoclast, with Yah our righteousness. Peace, Yah bless.